We just got like about 4 seconds, I think, and then let me check.
Yeah, we're live.
All right, so hey everybody, it's Soger here. I'm here with Comrade Kane,
Hi, guys.
and we got a guest today. And Comrade Kane, I'm going to let you go ahead and introduce the guest.
It's Zonderskind. Thank you for
Hello,
joining us,
everyone.
man.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, we're going to be doing a shared Persia game with Zond, and I'll be referring to him as Zond because as we had the conversation off air, I can't pronounce his name, much like many of the other things in game. So anyways, we're going to be playing, let's go ahead and this is going to be our start right here. I'm going to pull up, I already have the graphic up, obviously, but this is going to be the start. And then Zon, I'm going to push it over to you and you can go ahead and explain sort of your game here.
Yeah, for sure. So this is part of my challenge marathon. I'm going through all the civs chronologically, and this is going to be the fifth one with Cyrus of Persia. And it's called We Will Live Forever. So we're on a huge wetlands map with New World Age, so hopefully with more hills. And I switch up the game modes every time, and this time it's Heroes and Legends and Tech and Civic Shuffle with 18 random city states. The opponents, however, are not random. They're next to Cyrus's name. And for every challenge, I do 5 achievements. You are free to choose any victory condition you like, although sometimes I will push you more towards either a more late game or early game victory or a more aggressive or less aggressive victory. And so we have 5 achievements. An Oasis song, a build-a-wonder that has to be placed on desert tiles. Fun fact, I originally wanted to make this build something next to an Oasis. But to check if that's even possible, I did reveal all on all the spawns that I've rolled. This is the 6th of 10 spawns. And there literally isn't an Oasis on this map. So I had to change that achievement.
You sort of need an Oasis to have an Oasis wonder. So, I mean, or an Oasis achievement. So I guess, that's a good thing to know.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't want to, especially because you guys were doing like this run before I do the test run as well. So, or as I do the test run as well. So I didn't want to put in an achievement that's literally impossible.
I mean, it would have been nice for me. I would have searched the entire map because I would have been so like hardcore, like I got to do this. I can't fail.
Launch the Earth satellite just to find an Oasis.
Yeah, just rushing science in a religion game just to get all the map.
Yeah.
You should have left it the way it was. That would have been nice.
just to mindfuck people.
Yeah.
His grandfather's nightmare is possible. Also it was already. Finish with at least 5 cities on floodplains. Babylon's new king. Finish with at least wonder you did not build. Officially, you could do this by loyalty flipping a city with a wonder, but yeah. I think we know where that's going.
I'm definitely going to go war. I mean, like, yeah. It's Persia. If you don't do at least one surprise war with Persia, did you really play a Persia game?
Yeah, no. At least you didn't play a Cyrus game, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
The Four-Winged Guardian, complete the world's first circumnavigation. But who wants to live forever? Finish with an immortal and or rock band in an arena. Doesn't have to be your own arena. But it has to be an arena.
I actually like this. Well, normally I just play for winning as fast as possible. That's my usual. But I do always enjoy these sort of not optional, but out of the ordinary challenges. I think that gives players something to sort of strive for. I don't know. Like, I feel like people say it all the time that I miss a large part of the game because of the way I play. So I think stuff like this might help people like me who are so, let's say, focused when they play. But yeah,
and definitely. And I think this one you can still, if you want complete relatively early because I would have really pushed it towards the late game if I had said finish with a rock band in an arena.
Oh, I can get
And
rock
maybe if
bands
I
pretty early,
yeah,
especially
that's true.
especially with Persia. Persia's I really like Persia as a civ. I think they're an amazing culture civ. Like I've done some really amazing games with Persia. Like he's like Cyrus. People get caught up on the surprise war ability. He's just like a monster in all victory types because of the improvement is so good, and the trade routes is a very strong ability.
Yeah, yeah. And even if you don't intend to like go for conquest, meeting someone and kind of assessing whether they're far away enough, just hitting the surprise war button and have your scouts and settlers go fast is also just really nice.
Oh yeah, you definitely want to abuse the game mechanics there. I mean, there's no reason not to just sort of do that. All right, well, I'm going to drop this and let's go ahead and look at the starting area because I actually really like the starting area.
Should we talk about Cyrus's abilities and the Civ too, just to go over what
Yeah, sure. Let's go
he
ahead and do
has?
that.
Yep.
I'll pull up his abilities right now and we can just go over that. All right, so Kane, you're so much better at reading these than me, mostly because I'm sitting on the couch away from my TV. But I can go over them if you want.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was just listening to Zonda's Kind, and when he said, the extra movement, which together with monumentality, right, makes your civilian units move across the map like crazy, and recon as well, right? They
Yeah.
can do that. So that's that's the fall of Babylon that really plays into the abilities there. And the next one is satrapies that you're probably a huge fan of. For the
Yes.
trade route, capacity increasing so early with political philosophy and getting culture for domestic trade routes. That's just amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that right there is like I always talk about civilizations like only need one ability to be amazing, and that ability is one of those. It's such a strong ability, and I don't think it's given credit for how strong that one culture is. Like right away, like you can get a trade route really early, and that's a monument. Like it's a good ability. Persia's just an overall strong civ. Anyways, continue.
No, and Zonderskin, if you have anything to add, go ahead, man.
Yeah.
I also really like the roads that are more advanced.
Yeah.
It more than a few times I get caught up with how the ancient road, for example, doesn't build bridges,
Yeah.
and so I'll be moving builders, and I'm like, oh wait, it gets stuck behind a river, because of that. So just having those roads be more advanced is great as well. I'm not sure. It probably means that if you send out a trader, once it leaves your territory, it doesn't make the roads more advanced anymore.
Yeah, the second it's not in your territory, an ancient road will be an ancient road instead of a classical road.
Yeah, imagine you can build a advanced road to your opponent. And
That would be amazing.
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
yeah, but even just in your own territory, it's pretty nice, and
It works really good with
yeah.
a Liang city and doing monumentality builders from a centralized location too. Normally, I just get my builders where I need them, but Persia with that one era further road. Sorry, I'm struggling with words today. That like you can do a centralized city a lot better and a lot earlier, and like really get a return on investment on those builders.
Yeah, definitely.
What do you guys think of Immortal as a unit? To me, it's pretty strong. Being a melee unit with the ranged attack and having the defense strength.
Yeah, I mean, I generally don't go to war this early with. I mean, I don't know.
It depends.
It
It
really
depends.
depends. I like the unit, but for me, it sort of falls in that area of I don't like to go to war this early, so it it falls apart. If I do have like a close city state and I luck into some envoys, oh, that's huge because you can do a levy and get a bunch of immortals really quickly. And yeah, as far as the swordsman replacement goes, it's amazing. Anything with a ranged attack that normally wouldn't have one is really good. It's just I had a few times where it used the ranged attack instead of the melee attack, so you really want to make sure you're
that
that's
was funky.
yeah.
Yeah, in my head, legions are the better swordsman replacement. I'm not sure if that's just because of different parts of Rome's ability, or maybe legions are stronger. I could check that in a moment, but
Oh, they are. They are.
They are? Okay, yeah. And I feel like the ranged attack doesn't make up for that, but I mean, yeah, like Soger also says, I also prefer to go to war with like man-at-arms. And even like Ottomans, like I would have to wait to go to war if I really want to wait for the Niger unit, but those units are so strong that's fine.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's a little harder to make use of a swordsman replacement.
Yeah, I like if you're playing on Deity, like in a best case scenario, you can go to war at any time. Like, because people always argue with when I say you can't really count on a successful like ancient or classical era war, and people will bring up like these best case scenario maps and go, "Oh, look at what happened here." But if you play like 100 games, about 20 of them you can do an early classical era war successfully. Like and that's the problem with swordsman replacements in my opinion overall, is it works really good the times it works, but it's hard to rely on that as a universal strategy.
Yeah, and what was really sad, I did a game in October with Cyrus where I really wanted to do like the immortal Fall of Babylon push.
Yeah.
And sadly, what happened is that my first opponent declared war on me. and then even as I was already pushing into those lands, didn't want to make peace, so I had to do the entire swordsman push, the immortal push, just on normal movement. So I could do the surprise wars later on, and that felt great. So I do feel like Fall of Babylon is a bigger buff to your kit than the immortal is.
Oh yeah.
But I really wanted to combine it into a surprise war immortal push, and the game just griefed me into nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
That's why you have to be aggressive, right? You have to be aggressive in this game. So to make sure that you actually get a surprising war declared yourself rather than declared on.
But by the way,
the last thing,
in chat, we got Moprob said that legions have 40 attack strength versus the immortal 35 attack strength, which that's huge. That early in the game, that extra 5, that is, I mean, that's like night and day difference. And Thomas brought up what I was going to bring up about the legion. It has a chop. Anytime you can get a chop, I'm a huge fan of it. I mean, it technically it's supposed to be for a fort, but if anyone builds the fort with the Legion, I don't know what they're doing. You should find a tree and chop out the next thing you're doing.
That's right. That's right. Like, well, the next thing is Paradiesa, right? The unique improvement for Cyrus, and I mean it fits so nicely into the culture game.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't even know what to say, because between the culture and gold and the adjacency that it needs to be to like holy sites and commercial hubs to get bonuses, I feel like it has a really good synergy.
Well, yeah, and this is one of my favorite unique improvements, just because it can go almost everywhere. Like it can go on desert tiles. It can go so. The Desert Wonder in the start map here, let me go ahead and pull up the starting location. The Desert Wonder, you can toss that improvement like right around this and just add more culture to it. You can and culture is such a huge yield. If you watch any of my games, it doesn't matter which victory type I'm going for. My starting 100 turns are how much culture can I get? Like that culture tree just rules Civ 6. There's no there's no anything that gets even close to the impact of culture in a game.
Should we move the settler and the warrior first, just to see
Yeah.
what will open up the map a little
Zan,
bit?
this is your game. Where would you like me to move the warrior?
So, because I was also debating where exactly I settle. Already looking ahead at where I would like to place a holy site, and I think first of all I would like to move the warrior.
Yep.
To, I think that Plains Hill northwest of it.
All right.
I think that's where I would move it.
No.
Which gives us more floodplain.
The warrior.
Yeah, the warrior.
Oh, the warrior. Sorry, I was looking at the settler, and I was like, that's a rainforest Plains Hill. Oh yeah. Oh, there's a decent amount of floodplains up there. Yep.
Yeah.
And for the settler, where do you want him going?
See, I would walk towards the wonder.
That's where I want to go. Like, if
my thought is like settling on one of those deserts.
Yeah, my thought is like, I'll be honest, I looked at this and I'm like, well, I'm turning one of those desert tiles into a 2-1 tile.
Yeah.
But it's your game. So where do you want the settler going?
Ooh, yeah. So I'll just walk through some of the things that I thought of. I thought of maybe settling on the rainforest Plains Hills.
Okay.
So you have 2/2 in your base and 2/1/3s in your first ring. But then I did feel like you're like going further away from Uluru.
Yeah.
Makes it hard because I do really like that 1/2/2 tile next to Uluru.
Yep.
Like maybe try to get an early Pantheon, maybe try to get Desert Folklore.
Mm-hmm.
Could be really nice. Then I thought of settling in place. Which I think if you know that you're going to get Desert Folklore is the optimal spot.
Yeah.
You're certain that will work.
But it's so unlikely that you get Desert Folklore if you settle in
especially
place.
on a huge map.
Yeah, on a huge map, Deity, Desert Folklore, Dance of the Aurora, Sacred Path. If you don't have faith, like if you don't have starting faith, you're not even in the count. I mean, there's times that they come in they're still available late, but more often than not, you're out of the conversation. But I fully agree. If you know you're getting Desert Folklore and you settle. I wouldn't settle in place just because I can't crush a full production shop. Like it pains me too much, like to settle on a tree. But no, I fully agree. If you know you can get Desert Folklore, you sort of want the high production and decent growth of sort of settling in that area.
Yeah. Also, I thought if you want to try for the pyramids push, because you'd be 2 tiles away from the quarry resource and 2 tiles away from a flat desert tile. If you want to try the pyramids push, that's also probably the best location, or you could try the Plains Hills to the southwest of that.
Yeah.
Because you'd also be 2 tiles away from a different flat desert tile. And that's probably, you have more chops there if you really want to do that.
Is gypsum a quarry or a mine?
Gypsum's a quarry.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I always forget which ones are quarries and which ones are mines, but gypsum is the one I know because it's always really disappointing to not get the wheel when I go, oh sweet, I got gypsum, and then it's masonry.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So you boost masonry with that. Also a reason to go southwest is that then you open up that olive tile to the northeast for a second city, which could be nice. But again, you move farther away from Uluru. So what I'm thinking is to settle either the gypsum tile, or the tile right next to Uluru.
All right, so I'll just move to the right one tile here. Oh,
yep.
And I can tell you where I'm settling right now. I did this in the Gilgamesh game. I'm going to do this in this game. I'm settling northwest of the crabs on this empty desert tile right here. That is where I'm settling. So that's going to be a turn 3 settle for me. I don't need to see any more of the map. That's where I'm going right away.
So on the northeast of Uluru.
Yep. You got the lake for housing, which is whatever. but I will be getting 2 faith, and right off the bat, if I so choose, I can work that crab tile. The growth will be horrendous, but there will be some growth. But I'll be getting 4 extra culture, 4 faith off the bat. That guarantees, well, it doesn't guarantee, but that's pretty strong for
Gets you
getting,
close, yeah, for sure.
desert folklore. I mean,
Yeah.
you're possible getting religious settlements, although I forget who are the civilizations in this.
Yeah, so I can look that up because those are handpicked. You
Yeah.
have Babylon.
All right.
Oh, nice.
Um,
Perfect.
you have England, and that's the one with Age of Empire Victoria.
Okay.
I just use the primary jersey that they get.
Yeah.
So that's Age of Empire Victoria.
Yep. Hey, Zon,
Uh,
not to interrupt, but Come Real just said, "Hi, Zon. Is this with the challenge card?" In
Yep,
chat.
it sure is. It sure is. So if you can pull that one up, challenge card again.
Yeah, here, let me do that right now. Sorry.
So I also switch around whether I handpick the city states and whether I handpick the opponents. And for this one, I handpick the opponents. So you have Babylon, Age of Empire, Victoria, Ethiopia, Gaul, Gorgos, Greece, Gandhi's, India, Vembas, Congo, Varangian Harold, Norway, Kaisers, Rome, Cesare, Scythia, and Vietnam.
Oh, excellent.
So-
That is, you put in some amazing domination opponents there. Oh, it's Vietnam and Babylon.
True. Yeah, that was like, and also like Gorgo, Gaul. It's like
Yeah, I didn't even.
couple of
Yeah, oh,
opponents
you
really
like
don't want to go up against.
like I don't know if you saw it, but like we were doing a live stream with Eleanor, and I literally said to Kane, "Yeah, I bet you found a game with Scythia, Gaul, and Babylon all around me because it was a save that he made." Because like they're the hardest, like because there's nothing you can do against Gaul and Scythia in the ancient era. If you spawn close to them and they go to war, it's a lost game. Like unless you get like really lucky with like river placement and stuff, like the bonus is just so easy. Even the AI gets it right. So looking at the civs you chose, I love that. I hope that we have a Babylon, Scythia, Gaul sea around us. That would be perfect.
Yeah, to be fair, I did the reveal all, as I said. That was mostly to check for the achievements, and so like I said, there were just, or maybe I said this before we went live, but there are 0 oases on this map.
Okay.
There are enough floodplains that I think that second achievement is possible. And I also checked, like, is war feasible, or are you like on your own little island?
Yeah.
Or are you like so close to some really aggressive civs that you're going to get gobbled up in like 30 turns? And so I won't spoil what I saw, and I also don't remember exactly what I saw anymore.
Yeah.
But I don't think you're going to get deity'd on this map.
Dang. Like because I like
What's his favorite thing to do?
Yeah, like my favorite thing. We used to do a game of the month sort of challenge game in a Facebook group, and my favorite thing to do was to just like set up these maps that like you look at the start and you're like, this is good, and like turn 3, Teddy finds you. And it's like there you go. You know, because I could find a way out of it, and like other people would be struggling, and I'd be like, oh yeah, I got like a turn 179 culture victory. I don't know what you guys are doing.
Yeah, and the reason that Comreal's in chat saying please no Vietnam is that the first challenge that's gone live January 4 was with Gilgamesh.
Yeah.
And there you were, I think, 10 tiles away from Vietnam.
Oh,
And
come on, man! That like
in my test run, she did come into my land with an army, so I was like getting horsemen out and getting walls out. So I did lose some turns trying to prepare for an attack from her, but she didn't end up attacking me. And Camriel had the bad fortune that she did attack him at a time where also you don't have horsemen yet. So he actually got through that really well, despite his starting warrior being pretty far away.
Yeah.
But I can imagine that if I had done that game and Vietnam had been so aggressive with me, I might not have picked Vietnam for this challenge. I think it was mostly, like, for example, the fact that Rome and Congo are there are because I thought, okay, yeah, Battle of the Swordsman replacements.
Yeah. I forget Congo swordsman replacement. I mean, maybe it's just the game I played it with, but I really liked that one too. That, like, it seemed to be really effective, but it could have just been the game I was playing.
Yeah, I haven't used it much, especially like because Congo is between those swordsman civs the least domination oriented.
Yeah.
I haven't really used it for a Gaubeba push or anything.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like I have a read on how good that unit is in comparison to the Immortal and the Legion.
Mhm.
Whereas I do feel like I have a read between the Immortal and the Legion.
Well,
but yeah, I think Vietnam is in there because I thought, oh, also movement bonus. So on the other hand, I'm not sure why I didn't put in Gran Colombia, but I don't know. Yeah.
I just hope, because Kane's going to be playing this, that there's a close by civ, because he always seems to get the bad luck with that. Like
I ask for it. I want my games to be interesting. That's why, and challenging. So I'm hoping Vietnam is right there.
Yeah, like we just actually played a Gilgamesh game. We actually are in the process of playing one right now, and he went for a war cart push and wound up. What was the combat strength difference between you and Mapuche? It was like,
I think it was like 60 or something.
Yeah, like with 60 attack strength difference between his unit and Mapuche, which is that's a rough amount to make up.
I know. Somebody was like, "Oh, you should have went with Crusades." I'm like, "Okay, that +10 would really make a difference."
All right, so I went down to the next turn. I'm just gonna move a few turns. I don't want to do more than like 4 or 5 turns. But I just sort of want people to get like a feel for the starting location and sort of the what you got going on, because if people jump in, not everyone plays on Deity. Not maybe they want a little bit of a advantage, let's say. So I'm gonna move right next to the Wonder here with the Settler, because I feel most people are either gonna settle in the immediate starting location, or they're gonna move towards the Wonder. Like that's really what, and that gives decent visibility. Ooh, this
like
is
moving away from the Wonder just feels bad.
Yeah, no, I can't see any reason to move away from that Wonder, because if you look to the southwest here, these aren't like strong tiles. They're 1, 2. Like I could see if you had some banana tiles down here where you had 3, 2 and stuff like that. But because of a luxury high growth, but there's like nothing over here. Floodplains, you don't want to settle your capital on floodplains, because that's just inviting flood after flood in the first 20 turns, and just getting stopped. So I see settling and location are moving over here. But I will, warrior wise, Zund, where do you want more visibility here?
Ooh, I think I just follow that river. So west and northwest.
Yep, there we go. That's what I would do too. Just when I explore, I always go path of least resistance. I try to avoid things like floodplains, but if it's 2 movement versus 1 movement, I'm always going to go that way.
Yeah. So we find amber on that side. So it's all the same continent. So we have the luxuries: amber, wine, olives, and gypsum.
Yep.
So a little bit of a mixed bag in terms of luxuries. Preserve time, that appeal has to be high. It sure is. Like the tile you want to settle on, Soger, is +5 as well as the tile west of Uluru.
Yeah, let me pull up the appeal.
Of course,
here.
the lake tiles don't get appeal, so that's kind of sad.
Yeah.
Um.
I like, and this is just me. I'm never going to consider a preserve in a game, but I actually, now that I think about it, with Persia going into preserves, that might not be a bad play in a religion game because they do generate early faith decently. That is the one thing
Right.
that they can do.
Are you? Wait, where do you went up on the hill? Then it's going to be a turn 4 settle, I think. If I remember correctly, what you wanted to
Oh,
do.
no. I was just moving for the hill because it would give more visibility than if I moved up the other way.
Oh, okay.
Because the hill gives you +1
Yeah,
visibility being on the
yeah.
hill. Yeah, no, I wasn't. I'm not even gonna settle the city. I don't like to do things like settle and stuff in the like when I'm just looking at a map because then you actually get useful information, like if there's like a civilization or something. If
Mm,
that makes any sense. I'm
yeah.
weird like that. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. Um, and I think I'm still debating settling on the gypsum or where you settle next to the crabs.
Mhm. Kane,
Um,
what's your
yeah.
thought on settle location here?
Well, now that you're uncovered a little bit more map and the wine is there with the 2-2 tile, that makes that settle even more appealing
Yeah.
as a second tile to work, you know?
Yeah.
Because for faith, to your point, Soger, I getting the desert folklore because this is what I would go with.
Hmm.
That'll be my goal, and then work ethic just naturally as a meta. I
Yeah.
think I think that's the perfect one. If you settle on a gypsum, right, Zon, you're working. There's not much food there, right?
True,
And
true. Like
immediately
the
you're not
tiles next to
working.
it aren't great.
Yeah, you only get in two faith from the get
Yeah.
go, right? If you're working that lake tile, I guess.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, I like the Saugers choice better. And again, settling next to yeah, that works for
and
me.
I'm going to be well. It's a religion game, so I'll probably go desert folklore. But this doesn't appear to be a huge desert. You can still like there's still decent payoff. There's what's this? This
Mhm.
is 1, 2, 3. This is a +5 holy site. If you sell right there, it'll easily be a +6. You can get some +6s. You can easily get some like decent holy sites, but with two plantation luxuries, if this was anything but a religion game, I'd be going culture to plantations. Like this would be such a high culture game. You, like this is just like if this is like a science or a culture game, I would still settle in the same location, but man, this is a beautiful game for culture here.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So
But the
exactly like I think this is religion or culture really
yeah.
pushes you into that.
Mhm. And right away we got a flood right up there. So if you're moving your warrior, you might like, and it'll be different if your moves are different. But I just want people to know if you're moving your warrior, apparently there's a flood like turn 3 right here. So don't lose your warrior right away. That's happened to me a couple of times, and it's pretty
Yeah.
devastating to lose your warrior right away. I'm just all
You
right.
you can actually lose a unit from the flood. I
Yep,
thought they just get like injured.
you can lose them outright. It's low
Oh wow.
possibility. But you can lose it. All right, so I think I've sort of explored all I really want to explore before people get into the game because early exploration and those starting turns are just so important for people's enjoyment. Like the early game is the
Mhm.
funnest part of the
Yeah.
game, but like this desert actually does make a decent desert folklore because you only need like 3 or 4 cities for one of those adjacency
Mhm.
pantheons to really pay off. Like it doesn't need to be in every single city. If you get like three or
Yeah, I
four
mean,
strong
even
cities, that's
yeah,
huge.
four, four holy sites should be plenty, to
Yeah.
work to make it worth it.
Yeah. No, 100%. Like I've done religion victories, for example, with Gilgamesh, also on 4 cities.
Yeah.
You don't need to go super wide in a religion victory.
It really is like religion is weird in the fact that if you're like min maxing religion, you run out of stuff to do real quick. Like, if the only thing you're trying to do is win a religious victory, like, you get to theocracy and you're done. Like, there is nothing left in the game. That science tree, you get to cartography, you're done. There's nothing left in the game. Like there's like other things will obviously help, but there is nothing else that helps directly win religion games.
Did you close the stream?
No, it should be
Yeah,
going.
it looks like the stream is... No, it stopped.
It should be going. It's still going on my end. Hold up, let me see. Oh, geez, what the heck? That's not good.
Yeah, it's I mean, it wouldn't be our broadcast without something happening.
Okay, we're back. Sorry about that, everyone. It appears that we had a hiccup there.
Let me just check if I can see it going back
Yeah.
up again.
It looks like it is, yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that. Did I mention, like, it's like middle of winter here, so you know, things happen. Like, service isn't always the best in my area, so you know, maybe next time if we do a joint stream, maybe one of you guys should host it.
Yeah, sure. I can do that.
Yeah. By the way, I don't know if you saw, but Come Real asked, Zond, are you playing at the same time? Eh,
Yeah. This is going to be basically my test run.
yep.
So because chronological challenge run, like 2.5 years back.
Okay.
I started it 2.5 years back, and at the time I hadn't started streaming yet. So my first stream game, I think, was with Russia.
Okay.
So already like 3/4 through doing those challenges. Oh, how am I going to do this again and make those challenges within 2 years without completely burning myself up? Because doing it entirely on stream and making well edited series for 77 challenges, so 3 or 4 per month, is just impossible.
You know, I figured out the secret to get around that. I do absolutely no editing. I try every once in a while, but I just have like a nervous breakdown when I start editing and go, this is going to take forever. And then I give up. So just give up on your dreams, everyone, and things become easier.
Yeah, the thing is, like I originally, well, not originally, no. At some point, I was doing like just the same way that the game mechanic does, just basically Twitch VODs onto YouTube.
Yeah.
And I got the feedback that people prefer to see like edited series. So I tried to do that, but I can't do that for 77 games in 2 years. But like stream them on Twitch and make them edited for YouTube. So what I'm doing is every month I do one game, which I play. Like I record myself playing, but it's not streamed, and I try to edit that down for YouTube. So that's what I did with the first one, Gilgamesh, and that's going to be what I do with this one, with Persia. What I want to say, then there's one where I stream on Twitch, and then basically the Twitch VOD goes on YouTube. That's what I do with the third one, with Ramses. And for February, that's going to be what I do with Scythia. And then there's one in a month, or sometimes 2, where I just play off camera, I don't record anything, and I just make one video where I explain the challenge and show you how how my game looks at the end of it. And that's what I did with Babylon. That video is coming online this Sunday. So that's with the least meat on the bones, but that's just in the service of time management.
Yeah. because Kane does edited videos and all that, and I can turn out like 3 games in the time it takes him to make like one video. And that's with my sometimes 3 hour run times for a video. You can watch Oppenheimer or you can watch my medieval era. Those are your 2 options.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I
think
still haven't found like a balance
Yeah.
between how many videos I can churn out and
I've
editing.
I felt bad when one of the guys at work told me he watched the entirety of my I went for a sub 150 science victory with Ludwig, and he watched the entire thing beginning to end because I want to say one section of the game is like 4 hours long. And I was playing at like 2 in the morning, and in video, I'm literally going, I'm not even enjoying this anymore. It's too late. I want to be sleeping right now. I just want this era to be over. And that's still in the video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be fair, that's also going to be in my video with Ramses because I wasn't used to going that late into the game.
Really? Like it's funny when I'm recording, like I'll just be talking, and every once in a while you just have that like non-game thing where you're just like, oh my god, what am I?
Yeah. Yeah. So that definitely, like, sometimes you get into this churn, right?
Yep.
With especially honestly, the last couple of diplomacy games, I didn't really even have that feeling too badly. Partly because I've just gotten pretty okay at following the railroad of diplomacy.
Yeah.
And I can finish it. I can usually finish it in 220.
Yeah.
And it only gets really annoying if you have to wait until like turn 240 for it.
Yeah. If you don't get every diplomat and don't like, then it turns into a real slog. But anyway, so back to this game. So with a religious game, obviously you're going to want to go holy site first for your district. Myself, what'd you say, Kane?
Oh no, I was gonna say, what type of game would you play where holy site would not be your first district?
Games where the challenge is don't build holy sites and domination games with non-religious sims. I mean, I feel like every video, like the beginning's the same. Well, I'm gonna go into astrology because obviously I'm going holy site first. But it's just
astrology is boosted here, right?
Yeah,
right away. So.
But holy site first is just so good for that early expansion. Like it just is. I mean. It's hard to say that anything is comparable to a monumentality push. Like that's just such a strong, like early expansion move. But you're obviously gonna go holy site first. And
to
really,
that end, maybe take a look at the science tree because it's shuffle mode.
Yeah, shuffle mode.
That's right. I've never even played shuffle mode. I was gonna ask you guys, like, what's the deal with that?
The biggest thing with shuffle mode is you want to get as many Eurekas and civic boosts as possible because then it shows you on the tree where it is. And then you can sort of map out the tree. So if you're not familiar with your civic and tech boosts, it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to be playing with like Civipedia or something open next to you, just so like you can be like, okay, the next thing I want is horseback riding. What do I need to do for that? And then you can just go to it. Because with shuffle mode, astrology is behind mining here, which isn't bad. Mining is a very strong early civic, obviously. It unlocks your first chop, so like that's not a bad play. But wow, this is oh wow, pottery this is a wild tree. Pottery is a complete dead end. Look at that.
Oh wow, look.
You get to the medieval era and it completely stops. So unless
but irrigation is after pottery, right? It has to be, or is it not on the same?
No, it can be behind different tech as well.
It can be anywhere.
But on the same tree, right?
Nope.
On the same path?
Nope. They literally can be anywhere. Wow. sometimes you can actually
This is
get the
fun.
you can get the precursor like behind the other, like tech shuffle
Yeah.
does sometimes create some really unique things.
Mhm.
So this is, this isn't terrible. Here, let me pull up the culture tree. Oh, culture looks about the same. Well, no, it changes drastically. Like, wow.
I am always really nervous when I do tech and civic shuffle where political philosophy is, because if it's in a
Uh-huh.
spot where it's like at the back of the classical era,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
it can get really painful.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because with Persia, you want to get it as soon as.
oh,
you can.
especially with the way this. Well, this isn't super bad, but there's like, yeah, there is very little that you can skip over at the beginning here. Wow.
Yeah. At least with those Uluru yields, like for example, you're going to Code of Laws in 4 turns instead of 10.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you should be able to get more civics than you would normally get.
See,
I would
that's
hope
another
so.
argument for settling right on culture tile, right?
Yeah.
Like so that you get
True.
through the crazy culture tree faster.
Yeah, like I might start doing tech and civic shuffle
Uh-huh.
more often because I actually like I like this I like that this one leaf of the tree here is just a complete dead end. Like
Mhm.
Yeah.
so like in a like I was saying with it being a religion game, if there's nothing vital down here, you can completely ignore this. Like you could actually wind up with a situation where all these techs are just not helpful. And
True. Personally, I really like shuffle mode with civs that don't require a very specific tech path.
yeah,
For example, I don't really like it with naval civs,
yeah, because you're
because
stuck.
then you can get really awkward stuff where the harbors are located or where shipbuilding is.
Yeah,
Um, and for example, with Rome, if I really want to do a legion push, it can also be really awkward because, like, we don't know where bronze working is now,
yeah,
and like if you really want to do an immortal push on this one, it could be in a really awkward spot.
yeah.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
I
but
I feel
yeah.
there's a lot of civs that could be really handicapped with shuffle mode, like Russia too, even because the Lavra, however it's pronounced, Lavra, whatever it is so
Lavra.
yeah, is so vital to their strategy. If astrology is like in this third tier, you're so handicapped as Russia.
Yeah.
Which there's still a top tier civ, mind you, but you're not going to have one of those like blowout Russia games where it's just insane. And that's a top tier civ. If you're playing one of the more middle of the road civs that are tech dependent, I could see this being really rough. Like if you were
Yeah.
doing like a Japan domination game and feudalism was in a weird place, that would be because a samurai rush is already difficult for some people because of it being in the culture tree versus the science tree. But if that's in a bad placement, that would be a real bummer.
Yeah, so for example, I did a Japan game
Mhm.
where I had all game modes on because I kind of wanted to show like Japan can do anything.
Yeah,
Shuffle mode was on as well, and feudalism actually came later than apprenticeship by a wide margin.
oh, that's rough.
So
Yeah,
it
like-
was a little awkward.
And the other game mode is Heroes mode, which basically means I'm going to be doing Scout Monument. Monument is going to be
Yeah.
so vital.
Which hero did you get unlocked? Maybe we have different ones unlocked.
I have no heroes unlocked yet.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's because I already went to the spot where you wanted to settle.
Oh, you did? Oh, I can go up there. I'll go up there and settle. I don't care.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Hatsu is right up here, by the way, people. So if you don't want to see more of the map, just stop watching. Oh, there's another tribal village there. So you got 2 tribal villages. I'm just gonna go over there and settle, and I'll see what hero I get here. Mulan. Who did you end up getting?
Yeah, Mulan as well. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, there's you said 5 cities on floodplains. Let's see. What can you uh do
Yeah, you
you
still have to discover a little bit more to do that, but
Yeah, I was gonna say you
generally
can only
speaking,
get one here. I'm not gonna try and put them all in one area, but I was just trying to see.
yeah, I was looking as well. Could you get 2 or 3 on that same patch of floodplains? But nope.
Nope. Yeah, but yeah, that's. Oh, look at that. That's gonna be depressing for some people to see. That mountain with the
Yeah.
fissure there, like next to this lake. I feel like that's the meme right there. Like
Yeah.
that's the too many geysers to actually make them into a campus.
Well, you have to. What you have to do there is build Huey Tikali next to Petra. That would be my goal in this game.
Is that your goal?
That's my goal. Additional challenge.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm not sure if you know, Zon, but we had a very in our Wonder stream we had I'd say about a 40-minute back and forth argument over the value of Petra. So I forgot to ask you. Let's find out right now. How do you feel about Petra as a Wonder?
Oh, I can pull up my own Wonder tier list because I still feel pretty much the same about it.
Yeah, pull that up. Let me know, because I like this is the most important civilization question. I feel like you
True.
can ask anyone. What is your standing on Petra?
Yeah, no, I looked at Zonderskins. I looked at your tier list. It's pretty much aligned, generally, with what we've talked about. Petra just has a special place in my heart. That's why.
True, and I have a soft spot for all those wonders of the same category where you get like yields in a city on all the like tiles of that category.
Yeah, plus we have marshes there as well, so Intimanaki has to happen.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, I got enemies on both sides. Perfect. That's fine. I'm all right. I'm okay with that. I'm fine if I'm surrounded by the enemy. That's cool.
Yeah. So honestly, in that Wonder tier list, I kind of acknowledge that Petra, like it's just really fun to have like a city which starts out with 0 yields and then gets loads of them.
Yeah.
Even though like it means that you're settling a city that is usually
not good.
Initially crap.
Yeah.
And if you don't get it, and I've now had a couple of games where I in the Gilgamesh game I got 1 turn on Petra. Not gonna lie. Like, and on a city that really was like meant to be the Petra city.
Petra is really one of those wonders though that the AI will either build it super early or not at all. Like it seems like it's either gone like strangely early or it's turned 200 and there's still like Petra available.
Yeah,
because of the desert, right?
Yeah,
the desert might not be.
It's so very
in this case.
Yeah,
but in this case, when you spawn next to the desert, chances are. By the way, this is a wetlands map, right?
Yeah.
As far as I understand, that's similar to like continents and islands, where you can actually traverse the whole globe, right? On a dinghy.
Yep, whatever. Wetlands has multiple continents. Yes, it's so.
Yeah, and that's also something I checked because I have this first circumnavigation thing. So if you don't want this spoiled, then don't listen. But because I wanted to know whether the achievement is possible, I did check this, and you can circumnavigate this map on only shallow water.
Oh, that's amazing!
Right.
Actually, me and Kane were having that conversation, just a personal conversation over text about that with the Gilgamesh game. Because I was just saying, if you're trying to like really push through a game, if it's not a Pangea, shipbuilding should be like really high on your tech list, because every once in a while, even on like a regular continent's map, you can find the other continent. You can do everything on shallow water. And it's when you can do that, it's such a huge advantage versus waiting for like 50, 60 turns to meet the other civs.
Yeah, well, I mean, let's disclaim that that game is on continents, right? And continents, you kind of like assume there are oceans, but
Yeah.
it's not the case on every map. So
Yeah, no,
that one
sometimes
specifically,
you get lucky with that, and sometimes,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's good to know that you can technically do that. So wow, I feel like I can really hammer this game out relatively quick.
Of
I-
course
Yeah,
you do.
I think so as well. Yeah.
I mean, I replayed the Seven Seas challenge after I got my domination victory, just because I wanted to see, and I got my fastest religious victory ever in 57 turns on that.
Oh,
So
nice.
so I'm gonna try. I don't think it's possible, because of your extra challenges. But I'm gonna try for a very close to turn 100 religious victory. I
Hmm.
like with
Turn
Persia's
100. Holy shit!
with
So do you
Persia's
then-
movement bonus, and not
But it's wetlands. It's a huge map. You think you can pull it off?
Honestly, I feel like the map size
yeah.
doesn't change the victory timer for a religion victory too much.
If
Really?
I think the limiting factor is far more how early can you get to a like faith
yeah.
income where you can send out your apostle waves, then how many people do you have to convert exactly?
Uh-huh. Well, would you wait for an apostle in this case, or would you send out missionaries?
I would send out missionaries, and
Hmm.
I'm not belittling the challenge, let's say. But what I would say, other than Ethiopia, it's Gandhi, India, right?
Yeah.
Ethiopia and India are your only two religious
Yeah.
rivals.
Yeah.
The rest of the civs are not religious civs generally. Scythia does have a religious improvement, but generally they go domination early. They will get a religion, but they don't push it as hard without motivation. If they don't
And
have extra faith.
I'm not sure how much Norway likes religions. I'm not
Yeah.
sure whether the AI goes, "Hey, I have a unique temple. I should get holy sites."
Yeah, not usually from my experience. I pay really close attention to how in-game civs make decisions because that's important to me, and like a lot of the civs are just not religious by nature in this list. Like
Yeah.
Gorgo will almost never get a religion, even if she has everything available.
Yeah, and I put in Vemba. Like Vemba is of course like my go-to civ for, hey, let's make this religion game a little easier.
Yeah.
Whereas conversely, if you see me do a religion game and I put in Arabia, you know, okay, getting a religion early is the challenge I'm trying to go for here.
Yeah, I would say that putting Ethiopia in, they are, on average, the strongest religious competitor. If they're in game,
Okay.
I know I'm going to get pushed with units. Like I don't know what it is about Ethiopia, but he's usually just an aggressive civ.
I would usually say the Khmer, mostly because I feel more so on like defending their own religion.
Yeah.
Not so much being aggressive with it, but
No, just
Yeah.
and this is all like I haven't like crunched numbers. This is just me like playing games and going, oh man, it's Ethiopia. But I have like I can think of like 3 games where I literally had to put Moksha on the border with Ethiopia just to get the combat bonus modifier because there was just so many units crossing over, and it was just insanity. And that's happened to me
Yeah.
multiple games with Ethiopia.
yeah, you can churn them out, especially with New World Age.
Yeah, exactly. So and that is actually a nice addition to have Ethiopia in there. Is I didn't even think of the New World Age. Yeah, he's going to be putting out units if he gets a religion, which he will.
Yeah.
And Congo, the version of Congo you put in, the biggest thing that he does, he's like the city-state assassin. because he can't get caught up with religion and stuff, he tends to be like, he just tends to have a better military earlier. So he tends to take out city-states like a lot.
And for some reason, I don't know if you've noticed this as well. Maybe this is just confirmation bias on my end because it's a pet peeve of mine. I've noticed Vemba often takes pantheons that only make sense if you can get holy sites.
Yes!
Like River Goddess.
Yes! No, 100%. No, because the AI is very much on pantheons. It's almost like they follow a script, because I've checked at the end of games.
It's almost like they're coded, right?
Yeah, like
What?
if I went for like Dance of the Aurora and didn't get it, at the end of the game, I'll find the civ that got it, and they have no Tundra tiles. But it's just the AI is coded to value the adjacency pantheon. So unless there's something next to them, they're gonna pick it. So yeah. It's probably confirmation bias in the sense that all civs do it, but it's more egregious when he can't get a bonus from it.
Like you meet Vemba, or
Yeah.
or like what I had sometimes is that he picks the Golden Age Exodus of the Evangelists, and you see like, hey, wait, there's a civ. And often it's like when I haven't met him yet, I'm like, there's a civ collecting great prophet points, and not Vemba.
Yeah.
Vemba, no.
my favorite thing in game, my favorite this is the civ in game, is if I look at the great person tab and somebody on like turn 25 has like 56 out of 60 great prophet points. It's like, oh, Russia's in game, and then Stonehenge is built and only one religion is got, and it's like, yep, that's the most AI Russia strategy possible. The only civilization that like can get a religion so much faster than Stonehenge, build Stonehenge.
Yeah, just to grief everyone else.
Yep. Which is a good strategy, but I would have waited till I got the great prophet and I would have got an apostle right away.
Yeah, true.
Like, I've argued that Stonehenge is one of the best wonders forever because of that strategy. Outside of that strategy, not so good. But if you can get an apostle in the ancient era, that's pretty huge.
Yeah, I've done that a couple times. Like I've done that with Byzantium, and with the first time I played Elizabeth, England. I spawned right next to a natural wonder, and then after I've gotten like 3 cities and gotten a religion, I was like, Stonehenge is available.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's go.
Okay, so now, first governor. What's your thoughts on first governor? Kane, let's start with you.
First governor. Well, it depends on city-states, because I guess my persistent problem is era score.
Yeah.
And I really need the golden age from a mentality, especially in this one. So if I do have city-states around, I might actually go with a money first.
Okay. That's a strong that's always like my backup plan for a golden era.
Yeah, and then because additionally, my scout, how long is it going to take to build? A
Here,
scout,
let me.
right?
I'll start a scout.
So,
10 turns.
exploration.
It's a 10-turn scout.
It's a 10-turn. All right.
But you can easily, let's see, you got the 2/2 tile up here. Let me just force work that. I mean, if you want to play more conservative, +2 faith is still that's decent. That's a decent push for a desert folklore. You're sort of risking it. That brings the scout down to 6 turns. So I mean, it's like,
yeah, but see, that's where you have to weigh your options. Desert folklore is such a contended pantheon that I might stay at 4 faith until I actually get it. Right.
And the reality is
your exploration efforts suffer because of that. You only have 1 unit, but maybe you'll get lucky and you get a recon unit from a tribal village. So that's going to be
And if you're all like I just play the game. Like I just come in, I play the game and deal with what happens. And in a religious game, getting desert folklore here, no other pantheon helps you out as much as that does in a religious game. Like, period. There's if you're looking at a pure religious victory, there's no second option. So going for faith actually might be the correct call off the beginning, and suffering on a exploration point.
And it's for faith and for culture.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, you're
And
getting a
extra
lot.
gold.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
So,
if you like have to convert it, it's basically the working the crabs is 1 food less, and if you want to convert 1 production to 4 gold, it's basically like you have 2 production less but 3 gold more.
Yeah.
So
and I don't know if you're a huge fan of it, Zone, but I am king of trading away gold per turn right away. That 3 gold tile, that's huge for me. To have 3 more gold per turn to trade away to an enemy civilization, that's getting me my first builder faster. That's getting me my first settler faster. Like, I'm looking at this right now, and you're getting 4 gold per turn by your second population here. That's in my head is going, okay, I'm buying my first settler. Like, I'm gold buying that first settler really early.
Yeah.
yeah, not like I do often like do that exchange thing if I need like a tile right this instant, or I need a unit right this instant. I don't like when I meet the AI, I don't immediately go to them and say here's my gold per turn. Although maybe with Cyrus I do, because I then can immediately declare war on them.
I feel like I feel like Cyrus was like
Yeah.
designed 100% for that strategy.
You have to, so we're exploiting stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like we're doing things like that.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest, like, and I don't mean this in a mean way, but he like his animations make him look like really like deceptive and stuff.
Oh yeah, is it
like,
sinister looking?
Yeah, like he looks like the guy who's like trying to like get you like to buy a used car or something. Like you can't trust him. So like I feel like, once again, if you're not playing him in like the slimiest way possible, you're not doing what the devs intended. Like they want you to sort of play him sort of dastardly.
Fair enough. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on the first governor, Zond?
Yeah, I'm thinking Amani in Hattusha, also because I don't know where the strategics on this map are. You know, maybe because the Immortal still unlocks behind ironworking, right?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, ideally you won't want an iron mine anyway.
Yep.
But it does cost less iron, so even if you don't have an iron mine, just that 2 iron from Hattusha could be nice.
Also, the exploration bonus you get will show you where iron is if it's anywhere near Hattusa. So that, I mean, that's the biggest thing is if you get Sincerity, you get so much extra information.
True. Yeah. No, especially because it's like there's still fog between you and
Yep.
Hattusha. So it's even more that you will probably find out by doing this. And welcome in Yellow Cheese. So I don't prescribe a victory condition. I'm going to go for religion myself. And we talked about this, that this spawn really wants you to go for either religion or culture. And my achievements are made in such a way that it does help to go for the religion victory or for the victory condition that I go for myself, because I'm being kind to myself in that way. But you can do any victory condition you like, and try to go for those achievements as well.
I would say this is a good science game with this +3 campus right here. That could have been like a beautiful thing if that Fisher would have been right there. Like, I mean, come on now. Also, this is actually saying that this has my preferred science start. Now that I'm even looking at this, you could put a campus right here that's a +3 and put the University of Sanuk or whatever it is. And if this is your trade hub city, and if this is your trade hub city, that's going to generate with your domestic routes a decent amount of science and faith. I regularly have like 20+ trade routes in my games. So like when I see something like this, this is actually a really strong play if somebody was to like play this map in a science way, settle right here, campus there, and then the wonder on one of these tiles. That's a huge play right there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I'm really liking. And Sankorai, incidentally, is one of the wonders I want you to get, or one of the 4 wonders that would qualify you for the first achievement. So I kind of tried to find the best way to phrase that. Build a wonder that has to be placed on desert tiles. So that's Petra, because it has to go on flat desert. That's Pyramids, because it has to go on flat desert or desert floodplains, if I remember correctly. It can be Jebel Bakar, has to go on desert hills, or it can be University of Sankorai, has to go on flat desert or desert hills. So one of those 4 wonders I want you to build for that first achievement.
Mm-hmm. Well,
and yeah, like you said, it could be a really nice Sankorai city.
it's gonna pain me, but I think I'm gonna. Well, actually, I'm gonna ask you to pronounce it because I'm really digging like hearing you pronounce these. What's the Iron Desert Hill Wonder? How's that pronounced again?
Jebel Barkal. So I don't even know which language exactly that's in. I think it's in Arabic.
All right.
So whenever you hear me pronounce something, you're not used to like pronouncing that way. It's usually either because like I just pronounce it the way it's pronounced in Dutch.
Yeah.
Or it's because I'm like trying to do like a pseudo Latin or a pseudo Greek or whatever pronunciation.
But
yeah, Jebel Barkal.
But this city, this location with this smaller desert here, and if you go desert folklore, that would be huge to get that wonder in a religious game because you can cram a lot of cities here, and the faith output of that wonder is so, like it almost seems like it's in the wrong era because it's such a high amount of faith output that one wonder can generate.
True.
It's deceptively strong for producing faith. It's actually that's why I rated that wonder, or we ranked that wonder like really high, just because early game that thing puts up numbers. Like, and you have got a lot of locations for it here that you could get a lot of cities in that radius.
Yeah, I like to call it Colosseum for people with what's it called? What did I call it again? Like with commitment issues.
Yeah.
And because you don't have to commit as hard to it, you don't have to build a different district next to it.
Yep.
But you do want to like build the cities in a grid around it. I think if it didn't like have to go on that one specific tile like Desert Hills, it would easily be above B tier. I have it in B tier right now.
Yeah.
Just because Desert Hills like do drag it down.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like the yield of it, and I actually enjoy building it more than I enjoy building Colosseum. Even though Colosseum, just off the effect, it's S tier.
Colosseum is like huge strong. If it wasn't attached to the entertainment district, it would be S tier. But for me to deviate from districts like that brings it way down, because entertainment district just doesn't do enough in game for me to ever build it if I'm not doing a Colosseum push.
True. You wouldn't build an entertainment complex usually in the first like 80 turns.
Yeah, even with Aztecs, it's hard to argue that like an entertainment district ever really returns enough. I just like, I don't know. It works in like a culture game, but if you're not doing a Colosseum push, I've never been like, oh, I need an entertainment district that will fix this situation.
Yeah.
Like it's never the solution to my problem.
No.
But yeah, so this is actually looking. The more I'm looking at this, the more I'm like sort of like I'm really digging the start. A desert folklore work ethic. You'll be able to hard build some wonders if that you desire. You'll be getting decent faith. What is the first great people? I didn't see that. Oh wow! First great engineer is a top tier great engineer. The the free district slot, that is huge, especially if you can get that in your trade hub city to get an extra district. But it also gives you the Eureka for printing with Tech Shuffle. That's a huge bonus as well.
Yeah,
Because
true.
printing in a religious game, it's not huge. It's not going to like change the game. But if Jerusalem is in game and printing, that can do a little bit more to spread your religion. If you're pushing it.
Yeah, like to be fair, I would be personally more excited about Emotep.
Yeah.
But Bisheng, yeah, especially like you say for the Eureka in a shuffle game is probably equal with Isidore, the other Wonder Engineer.
Yeah, no, Imhotep is easily the best starting great engineer. Like that's hands down. If he's number one, it's going to be a good game. By the way, Kane, Toki said the first thing he said when he comes in room, Petra game for sure for Kane.
That's my boy right there.
Yeah,
thank you for the support, man. We talked about Petra already. And Huey Tikali.
Yeah, that's also mentioned in chat. That's 5 amenities for Huey. So like people, like this, and this is actually a game where those wonders. I still can't say that Petra is going to pay off. I'm probably going to build Petra. Like I'm going to tell you right now, I would be surprised if I didn't put Petra in the capital if it's still available when the Wonder Engineer pops, just to get these tiles looking better. Because I might also add a preserve, just to like mix things up. But yeah. Because it's a religion.
You're gonna
game.
build a preserve?
Well, it's a religion game. There's fewer things that you need to build, so I might as well do stuff that's out of my ordinary. Like maybe I'll try and make some appealing cities, like cities that actually like just look nice and have good tile yields. I don't know, like
and Toki is mentioned in Jebel Barkal as well, which is always a decent wonder, but. Is it and for the religious game as well, right?
Yeah, it's huge. We yeah, I mean, if you can place it right and get a lot of cities around it, that's going to be huge. Any other one? Obviously, I mean, it's hard to say if Oracle is worth it in a religious game, because if you're pushing religion hard, you're not going to be faith buying great people as often, if ever. So, I mean, I don't know. What wonders are you two going to be looking for this game that we haven't mentioned yet?
So
it depends what kind of victory you go for, right?
Yeah.
Like if both of you guys are going for religion.
Yeah.
Mahabodhi Temple, I always go for when I have a religion.
Yep.
Yep.
So that's why, like, having settled right where you have settled, I would probably get a holy site, even if it's not optimal for the adjacency, on the flat desert north
right above the sheep there.
Capital.
Yep.
So that you have a spot for a Mahabodhi, at least on the woods northwest of that tile.
See, I would be inclined to do a Mahabodhi somewhere over by these 2 wine tiles here, and just chop it out like probably like a 3-turn chop out with Magnus, right out there. Would probably be my go-to for that. If you're gonna build it in the capital, yeah, that's the play right there. That's a solid. If you're gonna like hard build it and do it in more the traditional fashion, this capital is gonna have decent production if you do a work ethic religion.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna be able to hard build wonders and actually complete them probably mid classical age without too much trouble. Those ancient era wonders are such a gamble, even if you have like insane production because of the AI bonuses, but you're going to very quickly get to that point where if you want a wonder, you're going to be able to get it.
Yeah. Depending, of course, a little again on when they unlock.
Yep.
And like what you say about doing it in a different city, I might do that if like Jebel Barkal and or Petra and or Mahabodhi unlock at around the same time,
Oh,
then I
yeah.
might divert it to different cities. But I think just to have the spot open for Mahabodhi, I would definitely put that holy site on the flat desert.
Hmm.
Yeah, why I said it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. What other wonders would you consider? I mean, for religious victory, I feel like Mahabodhi is a big one, but Oracle, I don't even know if it's worth.
I'm
much?
considering Colosseum just because I have that achievement of having a unit in an arena.
yeah.
Mhm. Apadana, I guess, if there are like what are they called? The faith city states, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you find them, so extra envoys for that little faith boost. But other than that, I don't even know what else you would
Hanging
build.
Sophia.
Hanging Hagia Sophia, really? I like if you're finishing the game before turn 100, Soger. At what point do you
I didn't say
rebuild it?
before 100. I said around 100.
99.
I'm gonna say it's gonna be a triple digit. It's gonna be a 3-digit number. It's really hard to get a sub 100 on a huge map with
And
faith.
it's a shuffle. It's a tech shuffle,
Yeah.
right? So
Exactly. I mean,
Also, I feel like Hagia Sophia, like the worst that's going to happen is that you're still building it as you win.
yeah,
So if like the worst thing that's going to happen is that it's an insurance policy.
yeah.
Mhm.
I feel like your challenges actually like put you into Saint Michel, the one that gives you the martyrdom, whatever, instantly
Yeah.
on your apostles. I feel like your challenge, like your accessory challenges for this game actually do push you into the path of a lot of good wonders, because you could
Mhm.
even debate that have a wonder that you didn't build pushes you to the Iron Faith Desert Hell wonder for unlimited immortals. Like,
Yeah.
so your challenges are actually quite well designed for the wonder game, at least.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's been so I did the chronological with the pre-leader pass civ, so that was, if I remember correctly, 55 or 57
Yeah,
civs. So I feel like I've gotten relatively okay at and sometimes it's like think first of the title. Like, for example, I wanted to do We Will Live Forever, and then that's a song by Oasis, so I had this idea of yeah, it would be an Oasis song, and that's why also originally the thought was build something next to an Oasis. And sometimes I think like, okay, I want, look, what's a good example? I for example, for the Phoenicia challenge, there's going to be an achievement: have a naval unit with all possible promotions. And that actually came first, and then I could also make a pun with a Dido song, which was nice. But so sometimes the idea for a achievement name comes first, and sometimes for the achievement itself. And I feel like I've gotten pretty okay at not making them too railroady, so you don't have to do science or you don't have
yeah,
to do diplomacy in a game. I do. Um, but your nudge towards using, for example, the unique unit of a civ or the unique infrastructure a bit more. So yeah, I really like my own challenges as well.
yeah. I think
Hey,
What were you gonna say, Kane? Sorry.
oh, yeah, we have a question in chat from
Yeah.
Yao Cheese, wondering where the ideal holy site would go. Or let's talk about like where the holy site would go in the capital if it's placed where we have it right
I would say in the capital.
Hmm.
If I was like, it depends on the
Because
rest.
next to a wonder, right? Like that hill
Yeah,
next to a wonder would give you 1, 2, 3 with the desert folklore 4, 5.
6,
I
I
don't know.
think. Yeah.
6.
so what my thought is I would put it depends on what I find when I explore the rest of it, because it's going to be where my other cities go. But I always look, if I'm doing like a work ethic, what numbers can I make how can I make this the most? So I would almost put the holy site right next to the capital here on the left and put the government plaza on the flat desert tile there, because I'm going to cram another city's holy site right next to the wonder there. And then that would just get that 2+, and then
Nice.
do like a commercial hub on the wheat tile there. I would just sort of do it that way. But if you're looking standalone, it's either, you said this is +6 right next to Laura. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Debatably on the sheep here, depending on, it looks like this is desert here. This could be +6 as well.
6, yeah.
I was looking at that.
It depends what this tile is. It's either 5 or 6 right here. You would need to take out you'd need to get animal husbandry, but that's the obvious next tech after you get astrology, because the entire tree is sort of behind animal husbandry and mining. But then you're waiting on building it.
Yeah, and it's settling, like you said, right? Like, if you want to get a couple of holy sites in the desert for desert folklore, then you're going to be settled in a certain way. So maybe the sheep or the other side could be used for a second city or a third city.
It's 100% going to be, how does this desert flow, how big it is. If the desert that you see right now is all of it, I'm putting my holy site either where you two were talking about on the desert hill, are right next to the capital, just based on where my other cities are going. And that is if this is the full desert. If the desert goes more to the right here, I would argue sheep, or maybe even where Zahn said for the wonder right there. Just depending on how you can put cities in, because I'm going to want the most high value holy sites. It doesn't have to be the highest value in my capital, if that makes sense.
No, so where I'm thinking of putting it would only be a +3 as far as we know, unless there's extra desert tile to the east. So especially if there's another desert tile there in the fog, I feel very good about a +4, +5, even if it could be one higher. Just to open myself up for Hamama Bodhi. But I can definitely see going right next to the capital, also because you might not grow to that tile before you get to astrology. So you'd have to buy it. So putting it right next to Uluru also works really well. Yeah.
And really, the flat desert tile is really unlikely for you to grow into it. The game is going to default to getting the wheat tile, the sheep tile, or the wonder tiles way before that. So you're going to have to buy
You're going to be getting lake tiles for sure.
I mean, there's so many high value tiles around you. I would assume, let me just see if it says right now. I would assume the wheat tile is the one that's going to be unlocking, though.
Skip a turn.
I can see. 1 second.
Yeah.
For me, it says and it grows there in 2 turns flat.
Let me just go ahead and put this like that. Yep, and see. But because the game doesn't really. Let's just put a monument in. Doesn't really value good tiles. It values features and stuff like that. So it's the wheat tile, 1 turn. So I mean, but you're going to be unlocking all these tiles super quick. So realistically, if you're looking at 17 turns for astrology, you might have your second tier pretty close to filled out with the amount of culture that you're getting here.
It's pretty bonkers.
Especially if you don't do a full, like say you do the 2/2 tile early, or get like a lucky population out of the tribal village or something like that, and you get to 2 population and then go full culture. Oh, that's going to be insane. So, I mean, there's like so many options here. I might, like, the more I'm thinking about this, maybe the smart play is to go pottery just to chop out population really quick too. Like, there's just so many good moves here. Because that wheat tile and that sheep tile are not really worth working in any respect. even if you improve them. So that 2 population can get you those early yields pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Chi said, I was looking at the sheet myself, but man, that's a nice Petra tile to chop. That actually is fair. I mean, these tiles do get better with Petra. So I say it's not worth working, but Petra, the unimproved cheap tile, is your best tile in the city. So if you're planning ahead like that, yeah. All right, so I might. My thought is I might do a religion science game. I might basically go campus, just to do like more domination. I feel like your challenges sort of want you to do a domination push. So I mean, like, I could settle cities on floodplains, or I could just use Persia the way Persia's meant to be played and take cities on floodplains. That counts still.
Yeah, that counts. Yeah.
And I found out, in my sub 150 turn science game with Ludwig that you actually don't have to be the dominant religion in your civ to get a religious victory. So, I mean, the more people you conquer, that's the fewer cities you have to convert.
Wait, sorry, how? What?
Your civ, drove me absolutely insane. It still angers me to this day. If you convert every other civ to your religion, you win. As long as you don't have a dominant religion, you will win a religious victory. Because I got a turn whatever religious victory because I took out the last Japanese city and it was just me and Gilgamesh, and he was.
But so if you're
religion.
converted to someone else's religion, then it doesn't fire?
I don't believe so, no. But if you don't have a religion, you'll still win the religious victory.
Oh.
And that it made me so mad because, like I said, was like 12 hours of gameplay, and I'm like 2 turns from winning like a ridiculously quick science victory, and then the religious victory screen pops up, and I was just like, "Are you kidding me?" And I had to go back because I even checked before I took out the civilization. Is my religion dominant? Like in the video, I check.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm not dominant, so I won't get a religious victory. I take it, and the screen popped up, and I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" Oh my god.
Yeah, like legitimately, this changes how I think I want to approach. Like normally, I would pick religious colonization because that's the easiest way to make sure that your religion is dominant in your own empire.
Yeah.
But if you don't need to do that,
Crusades. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Like I think I'm gonna play. I think I'm playing a domination game that's religion focused.
Yeah.
I don't know, Kane. You went Warcart Rush with Sumeria. What are your thoughts on this?
I like to take a ridiculous approach to the game, right? Like as you witnessed so far. But I really love the idea of military expansion through and a religious victory because it makes it fun. You know? A religious game on itself is sort of like a drag for me personally.
Yeah.
But if you add that military side to it, that would be fun.
Especially with Persia, I feel like it's great synergy because you're going to be declaring wars.
Yeah. Crusades are in conflict with work ethic, or am I?
Yeah, you have to choose.
No.
Or no, sorry, my bad. You have to choose between crusade and religious colonization and holy order.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, holy order.
To be precise, work ethic is one of the follower beliefs, and crusade is an enhancer belief.
Yeah.
So see, in the religious game, you would go with holy order generally, right?
Yeah.
But in this case, it depends where they are.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
it
depends.
And I feel it's easier to convert all the civs if there's fewer civs. Because you're starting out with a lot of civs. Do you really want to convert that many people? Or like, it's easier to convert 4 than 10. Like that's just basic math.
Yeah. That's true. Also, what are your thoughts on missionary zeal?
What? Sorry, I don't know what that ability is.
Missionary zeal is.
Is that the
Let
one
me
where they
look it
don't
up.
have terrain effects?
Yep.
For a religious game, I would probably take that ability. Uh, Otherwise, I don't see the value in that uh, because that's in, uh, in direct combat with culture to followers and science to followers, right?
Um, that is in combat with Crusade, Defender of the Faith, Holy Order.
Oh, I would take Holy Order
It's
over
enhancer.
Zeal. Like Holy Order is stronger than Zeal. More units is
Mhm.
better than faster units, in my opinion. Like I could be wrong, but I would rather have like more missionaries because then you can go in different directions.
And with the surprise war, your religious units get +2 movement as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, all
Mm.
of them. Yeah.
And really, I might just attach like a missionary to like 3 units and just go to war. And then when I get tired of warring or my army dies, convert that city and build a holy site. Like that might just be what I do. Just like have like, or maybe even if I got like an apostle with the heal ability, that wouldn't be bad too. And then just once the war starts getting to be slowing down, start a religious push from there.
Yeah. Yeah, no, just checking again. I guess one reason you would want to get your religion in as many of your own cities as possible is, for example, for work ethic.
Yeah.
And you want to get a holy site everywhere and you want to get the production from it everywhere. So I'm just kind of seeing like, okay, I probably would still want to convert myself as well. But
Yeah. I mean, I'm you always want as many followers as your religion as possible, even if you're not doing one of the follower beliefs because it's putting that pressure out there. But there's less incentive. Like, say you do a desert folklore work ethic thing, there's less incentive when you start getting over by these floodplains and stuff to even build a holy site, even in a religious game, because the adjacency isn't going to be there. You like the only thing that it's providing is a further out holy site, and if there isn't a civilization to the west here, that's not really doing much.
yeah.
But so it's one of those things. Religious colonization and holy order are my default, but I think
Mhm.
I'm gonna go Crusades this game, just because I also don't think that faith is gonna be that hard to come by. Where if I send a missionary with my settler, I could just convert my city when I settle it.
Yeah. Moprobs is asking if we've already discussed Pantheon choice. We have,
Yeah.
and basically the reason that we're settling here, I think all three of us right now want to have that first city on this
Oh yeah.
location
Mhm.
is to have 4 faith per turn, to
For,
rush to a Pantheon by what will it be? Is it like turn 10? I think so.
yeah. If it's
10 or
because it's
11.
3 turns or 4 turns to settle here, 4 per turn. So yeah, it's turn 11.
Yeah. So, and to hopefully get desert folklore.
Yeah. And really, if you don't get desert folklore, this is still an amazing settle. It just changes the math on where you put holy sites and stuff. But honestly, I think if you don't get desert folklore, religious settlements might be available. The only way you're not getting, like, you're getting one of the first 2 pantheons because Mali isn't in game, Russia isn't in game. So the only way you're not getting first pantheon is if the AI gets a relic. There's no civilization that's putting out high faith early.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think we all know who's getting the relic first.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah, 100%. I might
You look
go.
at Soger's games, and every freaking game he gets a relic, or even 2.
I Do you know how many games I throw away because I get a relic in like the first 10 turns? Like it's insane. Like I sent to Kane a message the other day. How many games have you gotten 2 relics within 10 turns of each other from a tribal village? I just had to stop another game because of it.
Ah, crap.
Yeah, like
It
it's
happens.
I have like I wish I had this luck anywhere else in life, but in Civilization 6 Tribal Villages, it's like I hit the jackpot so often.
Yeah, because that's how you did that Norway game so quickly, right? Just selling off the relics from
Oh, that
Candy.
was Candy. Candy was in
Yeah,
game. I mean, anytime Candy's in game, it's super easy because you have between 20 and 32 gold per turn wealth worth every time you find a natural wonder. So it's so like Candy is such a great city state to find. I've debated locking them out of my games just because I'm so good at utilizing it, you know, that
yeah.
I
It
feel it makes
almost
it.
feels like an exploit.
Yeah, exactly. Like, because if I find Candy early, it's like okay, this is now like 160 range. Like any victory, I'm gonna win this pretty early.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I've debated multiple times of locking out Candy. I used to actually run a mod to take relics out of the tribal villages for a while, but then it stopped working and it started throwing in different rewards as well. And I kept trying to adjust it and I could never get it to just remove relic. That's all I wanted. And
Mm.
I still haven't found that.
Yeah. No, and like there's different civs for which having relics is just part of the fun. Like for
Yeah,
example, Poland and Congo
yeah,
would just
exactly.
feel really good with if you get it if you can get a relic.
Yeah, my sub 60 culture victory on a huge map. That's all Candy. That's Candy with Congo. It's like amazing. Um well, and somebody asked me to in some way asked me to play a Poland relics game, and
Hmm.
I still I want to do it, but I don't know how to play a relics game on purpose. Like, I mean, you can get Saint Michel and stuff like that, but like it's not Saint Michel. Which one is the one where you get? No, that's
That
Saint
is
Michel.
Michelle.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, yeah.
like, but I feel like if you're devoting your entire strategy around it, you're pretty far into the game where that's not as impactful as a lot of other strategies. If you're already to that point of the game, I feel like your strategy has already been started. I don't know. Maybe that's just because my games are compact. But anyways, all right.
Yeah.
So
What about the rest of the governors? I'm just curious. If there was a money and maybe Magnus, at what point do you get Moksha? Is it your third governor?
Um. Yeah, because I actually tripped myself up with this in the Seven Seas challenge. This was probably one of the reasons I didn't go for a super fast victory. I got Moksha a little late, or it was in my Congo game, our most recent one,
yeah,
and I never got to the double promotions because I just chucked too many titles in the Secret Society and other governors.
yeah,
So in this one, there aren't any secret societies. That for the governor promotions helps a bit. Um, and yeah, I think I would take him as my third governor.
no later than third.
Yeah.
There's an argument to be made to not even take Magnus. I feel Diplomat first in this game is definitely going to be the best play because you also get heroes for Suzerainty and stuff.
Yeah.
Mm,
So
mhm,
the Amani shuffle, where you just move her from city state to city state, is going to unlock those heroes really quick. So I think
mm,
Amani first, like it's going to be hard to create a situation where that isn't the best play. Um, but if you're not like, there's the argument then is it Moksha or Magnus? And I could see a game where it's Amani, everything into Moksha, and then eventually get a different governor. Um, but it's really hard to pass up on Magnus because he is so powerful.
True. True. Yeah.
But
right.
I don't see Pingala and Liang uh, being as impactful in a religious game as they are in like every other victory type.
Hmm.
Yeah,
And
no, I'd probably leave Liang by the wayside at
yeah,
least.
and,
And
and
probably Pingala as well.
yeah, and Reyna absolutely worthless in this game. If you're and that's if you're playing a religious game, like just not going to provide enough. You're better off like getting further down Pingala's tree.
Like the only thing is, I might go for audience chamber here,
Okay.
and then I would prioritize at least getting to that third promotion of Moksha. But if I then have the room to do that and put governors in all my cities,
Yeah.
I probably would take those other ones. But
Mhm.
I'm not specifically taking Reyna because it's Reyna.
Yeah, you're taking it just to activate your other bonuses.
Yeah, exactly.
Which in a lot of my domination focused games, I'll take every single governor just because you need the loyalty. You know, like I'll take Reyna before a much better promotion just because I know I need the loyalty. Multiple places.
Interesting choice with the audience chamber though, Zon. Like instead of ancestral hall or world lord's throne, you would actually consider audience chamber.
Well, yeah, that's assuming that I'd go a little taller on this one. That that I would get 6 cities. I feel like then, like if you have even just 3 governors, and you have what is it again? 4 amenities and 2 housing on all of them.
Yeah,
2 amenities for housing.
2 amenities for housing, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so
That's
6
getting you to
amenities and
20%
12
pretty
housing
quick.
on aggregate is quite a lot.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. That's getting you to that
and-
20% to all yields really easily.
Yeah.
Like especially right here, your capital, you have you have 3 different luxuries in your capital. So with audience chamber, that's 20% really quick.
That's interesting. That's
Yeah.
interesting because, like, I mean, with Warlord's Throne, you only get 20% towards production, right?
Yeah.
With Happy Cities, you're gonna get 20% to every
Everything.
yield, basically.
And that goes back to for a religious game, you only need like 3 or 4 strong
Mhm.
cities.
Mhm.
The rest of your city, like you can either not settle cities, or the rest of the cities can just be accessories. You just need faith output. So audience chamber isn't as weird of a, I wouldn't say weird, but isn't as inefficient of a choice as it would be in like a science game where you want to sort of stretch out among more
You go
cities.
wide, yeah.
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 In this scenario, especially with you don't want your capital to be working all of these wonder tiles because it's going to kill the growth. But if you can get each city to work a couple of these, you can still be growing your cities and getting all those bonus yields. So like audience chamber wouldn't be bad, is good in that respect. You could really utilize all these tiles, which is hard a lot of the times with a wonder like this in the desert where there's no growth on them. You're just hampering yourself so bad when you work those tiles. I of course will be going Warlord's Throne because I am converting people through violence.
Yeah, and I think even in a religion game, that is a very valid option as well.
Yeah.
Like you boost the production you get from work ethic, for example.
Yep.
So that works very well.
And if you were playing like a peaceful game, Ancestral Hall, the free builder, would be golden. Like all the buildings are all have their place. I think a religious game is really where audience chamber does get a chance to shine, or like those civs that have like the bonus, the Lady Congo and Maya, where you don't want to settle as many cities because they're less valuable outside of a certain range.
Yeah, or like Scotland, where you get more yields from having happy cities. Yeah.
No, that
100%.
Yeah, I've actually never taken audience chamber, so I didn't even know the bonus, but I could see where that would be actually really strong in this game.
I sometimes take it because I sometimes over focus on like having a government plaza which can get all districts besides it.
Yeah.
And so, for example, in my Egypt game, I just got it way too late,
Yeah.
and I had already settled more than half of my cities. And by that point, maybe still Ancestral Hall would have been better, but at least at that point it felt like Ancestral Hall had already gone past its usefulness, and I was better off just taking Audience Chamber. And it's just because sometimes I should just get an Audience Chamber down somewhere.
Yeah.
And I don't, because I focus too much on, oh no, but here I can get 3 commercial hubs with +4 adjacency. Whoa!
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, for me, I get my Audience Chamber in one of my first 1 or 2, third city at the latest, because I want the 1 food, 1 production added to my domestic route.
Oh yeah, in this case, I did get it in my second city, but the problem was that I got a campus there first, and then it just took. It was like plains, hills everywhere in that city, so I just didn't get.
So your population just
a fourth hop.
And that's going back to the Great Engineer, the free district. That's a strong play too. If you like, because growth is going to be a real challenge. Just from what you can see here, like, look at all these 1 food tiles. Like this. Oh wow! The more I look at this, that animal husbandry pottery and getting those chops is going to be huge, because your trade route almost has to be second city to capital for it to grow if you're going to be settling around this desert. Because the
wine is going to help a bit.
Yeah,
but it is tricky.
Yeah, it's the more I'm looking at this, the more I'm sort of enjoying this area, the challenge it presents. I didn't notice until we started talking about just how bad the growth is. It's pretty abysmal. Although up here we got some decent, so that's good.
It feels really, for lack of a better word, segregated. You have that western area where you have high food but low production because it's very flat. Then you have the part where you actually spawn, which is very much like plains and hills and a bit of woods. And then you have the desert, where obviously, apart from Uluru, the yields are absent. But yeah, it's a very, like, one of the cities is going to have great growth, and one of the cities is going to have good production, but that's really awkward.
Yeah,
for the start.
And it's too bad, because you do want your government plaza city to have both growth and production, and that isn't really present in the immediate area.
True.
Okay, so governors, we got.
Hey guys, I actually got a drop. This was a real pleasure talking to you, Zondas, and I'll catch up with you guys offline.
All right, sounds
Can't
good.
wait to play this game.
Yeah, I'm actually
awesome.
not that far behind you here on dropping out, so I don't know. Maybe we just put the last things in, but I'll catch you next week, Kane, if not sooner.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right.
Yeah, see you around, King.
See you guys.
All right, but yeah, so with him leaving, maybe we just do any last thoughts on this. Like, I don't know. Do you have anything else that you really want to add? I mean, I feel we got governors. We sort of got a game plan. I'm gonna be playing an all. I think I'm gonna be doing domination. Like I just, it's hard for me to stay interested in a religious game at most times.
Yeah, I can really see it. Like, I like the religion victory for how it's usually, for me, the fastest one.
Yeah.
But the last 2 hours of it is just moving religious units around. So I can see that. You know, I often have to like defend diplomatic victories.
Yeah.
Like how one thing I talked about with Aqua, we both looked at your religious belief tier list, and we thought that like 99% of it was great. And then what my one pet peeve was that you didn't even address the pagoda. Because of the diplomatic favor, and because people often, like, I don't know how you guys think about it, but often people say like diplomatic victory is not even a real victory For example, White Nerdy recently had a video where he had all the icons for the victories in the screen, and instead of the diplomatic victory one, he had score victory. And I said, like, that feel when diplomatic victory gets so disrespected that you use the score victory icon for it.
Well, here's the thing. I feel, and this is coming from the way I play the game. Diplomatic victory takes the longest. Period.
Yeah.
Like people who say, "Oh, it's the easiest," it's not a real victory. I don't like that. I don't feel that's fair. Because I would say, if you know the game, a culture victory is easier than a diplomatic victory. I can rush national parks and mindlessly put national parks everywhere and win before the points exist for a diplomatic victory. So there is a lot of stuff that does go into a diplomatic victory, and if you want to play one well, you do have to like know the trees, because there's points in both the science and culture tree. Like I feel like that is coming from people who are playing like 300 plus turn games. Like, and not to insult them, but yeah, the longer your game is, the less difficult diplomacy comes. But that also comes from the idea the game does have to end. Like, there has to be an end point at some point. Like, you're supposed
the
to
game
win.
really tries for you not to do a score victory.
Exactly. So, and I feel like and that's I feel that's where the negativity, let's call it, goes towards diplomatic victories, is that one just comes easier early for people who aren't focusing on the victory. So for them, they feel like they got caught off guard by it.
Yeah,
and that's my opinion.
It's the victory that at some point the game kind of just pushes you towards.
Exactly, and but it comes back to, like, if you want to do one well, there's a lot that goes into playing a diplomatic victory well. There's a difference between achieving the victory and doing it well. It's the same argument.
I would say it's the hardest one to sub 200 with.
Yes. I mean, you need to do a lot to sub 200. I actually have never I've only done one rush diplomatic victory game, and it was before I was recording. But it was also after I had a surgery, so I was on drugs and stuff. So I was like, I'm just going to play a game where I can make more mistakes and still do well. And I went diplomacy with Rome, and it still took me over 200 turns, and I was actually sort of frustrated because I felt I should have done better. So yeah, it's hard in that respect. But it falls in the same category for me as like Babylon. People always say, "Oh, Babylon is the easiest civ because you just do this and that." And it's like, okay, yeah, that's true. But if you watch somebody who's really good at playing Babylon, it's something to behold. Like, versus somebody who's just playing Babylon.
And I do feel like Babylon is a little spawn dependent.
Yes.
Like a little more than other civs.
Yeah.
In general.
And I find a lot of people wind up like hamstringing themselves by getting too many boosts, and now your districts are costing like 20 turns in your high production cities. And that's where I say it's sort of the same idea as the diplomatic victory. Yeah, you're never really going to struggle as Babylon, but you can see the difference between somebody who's actually thought it out, planned it, and is doing it well, versus the person who's just eventually getting there.
Yeah. Or even like I like to think that I'm relatively good at finding those eurekas, but in my Babylon game that is going live on Sunday, or like at least the challenge explainer, I actually messed up the Ruhr rush.
Yeah.
I didn't have a spot for Ruhr next to the two initial industrial zones, so I had to get a third one to get Ruhr.
And that's difficult because your costs are really high, and your production is really low. And that's what I mean. Like, I feel like people, and it's not like I'm like talking down, but there's a huge difference between people who play to just eventually win, and people who are trying to like sort of craft a strategy. I feel like there's two very distinct different player bases, and I feel that's where a lot of the differing opinions come from.
Yeah, and for example, from White and Nerdy, he's also good at theory crafting, but I think for him it just comes from a like, for example, what I would use as the biggest criticism against the diplomatic victory isn't necessarily that it takes you the longest if you want to like do quick victories, but most of all, like you can do a science victory and it can be just as fast as a diplomacy victory, but it's much easier to do that science victory one turn faster.
Yeah.
It's a lot harder to optimize a diplomacy victory so that it's one turn faster. Either you like have a better Congress, or you get Potala Palace and you maybe knock it down by as much as 30, but let's say realistically like 15 turns, because you don't have to wait for 8 request X or something.
Yeah.
But it's really in big steps.
Yeah.
Which can be a little unfun for a lot of people.
Well,
and yeah.
Yeah, and diplomacy is science victory is a good example. Science and score are the only two victories that have a fixed finish line. All the other victories have a moving finish line, and diplomacy does, even though it seems fixed, has a moving finish line because there's the -2 diplomatic point thing, and it's
True.
based on all that. Like what you're saying is exactly right. Like you can, because of the fixed finish line of a science victory, if you play a really, really good science game, there's so many things you can do to shave a turn here and there. Because there isn't a defined win for the culture victory, there's so many things you can do. But because the diplomatic victory has a fixed but moving finish line, in my opinion, it does sort of have its own feel to it. I fully agree that there's just not as much you can do. I actually do default to Pagoda for the religious building if I take it, but I generally don't do religious buildings.
Yeah, you mentioned that you usually just take the 2 beliefs and
then I'm done.
don't evangelize. Yeah.
So
then probably you don't build Mahabodhi Temple a lot, do you?
I build that a lot. It depends on is the space available. I prefer to build Mahabodhi Temple versus getting an Apostle because it's era score plus the units and all that. But sorry about that. What ends up happening to me a lot of times is I just don't have a tree available by a holy site. If it comes up, my early games, I built it in 100% of games because I would plan for it. Now because I'm trying to get, I'm trying to get more and more efficient, like every game I want to do a little better than my last game. The math really decides if I build it as often. But in that scenario, I always liked having the second apostle for like either spreading or defending.
Yeah.
But my problem with the diplomatic victory, and here is my one problem with the diplomatic victory, is I don't think earning more diplomatic points is as effective as just having more gold in a diplomatic victory. If every turn you just buy the 20 diplomatic points from the AI, we'll make more diplomatic points than you'll ever. And that's after the AI starts actually charging you for them. I generally don't take the 1 gold diplomatic points in the first 40 to 70 turns of the game.
No.
But even late game, it's more efficient just to buy them. And that is my one problem with the diplomatic victory is I wish that there was like more envoy based or something. I wish there was like a different wrinkle to it than how it plays out right now. Is that it's easier to just focus on playing well than playing diplomacy well, if that makes sense.
And also it's actually more efficient to get rid of opponents than to keep them around. With the caveat that if you go to war, it's better to just get entirely rid of an opponent.
Oh yeah, always.
For domination, it doesn't really matter. You can leave them around, but for diplomacy, it's actively bad to have civs running around still with, even if they don't have any diplomacy or diplomatic favor,
still
they
get a
still have
vote.
a vote against you.
Yeah. And they're gonna
Um,
vote against you.
Yeah, yeah. And what's funny actually is I was going to plug this playlist anyway, but the Gilgamesh challenge, I actually looked back at the points I missed once I'd gotten the victory. If you do have to get lucky for this, but if you got all the points you could in the aid requests and the congresses and stuff, you could finish it before the first modern era congress.
Oh, well, yeah, because you're too short. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yep.
Yeah. Normally you need that era, or you need that era score congress because like you often you'll only have like 1 or 2 aid requests in the meantime.
Yeah, our 0 a lot of times.
Yeah. But in that game there were, if I remember correctly, 3 before that first modern era congress, and I had missed, I think, 2 or 3 in congresses. I hadn't built Potala Palace, and I'd waited with Statue of Liberty until that congress, because often if you have too many points, then they vote you down, and now I could get the points still. But you actually don't need the 5 points from that congress if you also get to seasteads.
Yeah, you have to get to
seasteads.
So you have to get the whole culture
It's a pretty
tree.
big ask, but it's possible to get the victory there before the modern era.
I used to do that all the time when I used to play with secret societies with like Khmer, Russia, Ethiopia. It's super easy with Void, but like if you're not playing with game modes or you're not playing one of the really religious civs, that's a big ask, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and this one is with secret societies, and let me check. I thought it was 2 game modes.
Yeah.
No, that's the other one.
I actually want to add one thing about this Persia game. With hero modes, people don't know, not that they don't know it, but they don't think it. Himiko, the hero who gives you envoys, if you put envoys into a city-state that you're Caesarian of, she gives you like 50, 60 faith. Yeah. Early game, that is so huge. So if you have Amani and you have Caesarity, you send Himiko there, you put the 2 envoys in while you have Caesarity and move it. You keep Caesarity, but you get the faith. It's like, it's such a huge, huge faith producer.
Yeah. And just the fact that you re-buy heroes with faith, and she's the only hero that gives you faith.
Exactly.
Or can give you faith. Is already so huge. Even if you weren't going to use the faith on anything else, it's huge that she is the only one who like
gives some of it back.
Yeah. Yeah. So exactly, like you can it hurts less to like save up the 1,000 faith to get her back.
Yeah.
And with a holy site it's less, because I believe it's the temple that makes it 15% cheaper, and then you only have 850 to rebuy her.
Yeah.
And yeah, by that time she can give you back a substantial part of that and give you envoys. So yeah, an amazing hero for like a religion victory, and for getting, of course, city states on your side.
Yeah.
I want to do a heroes tier list soon, and I don't think you're going to be surprised that Himiko is up there.
Oh, she's, in my opinion, she is the best. Like, she is just every game mode. She has so much utility. Like, she just provides so much so early. And that, for me, is the big thing, is how soon can you utilize their ability. And she, right out the gate, is just, like, just destroying it. Like, her exploration, like, it's just great.
Yeah, like, yeah. It's like Hercules, Himiko, and Sinbad, like, sometimes swap that first place. Obviously, like, on a naval map, Sinbad is the best, and then on some maps, he is worthless. Like, probably on this map, Sinbad is worthless. No, maybe you're pretty close to coast, but I think he's going to be worthless.
Yeah.
But then, like, Like, also, Hercules is stronger than Beowulf.
Hmm.
Like, what?
Yeah, no,
Why
Hercules.
would you ever get Beowulf?
There's such a
basically.
there's such a drastic strength difference between Himiko, Sinbad, and Hercules in their respective positions than every other hero. No other. The only one that you can sort of make an argument for is the one that destroys luxuries. And strategics or whatever, because he provides so much culture and science in the ancient era. But after that, he stops paying off. Where I feel like Hercules and Himiko full game are just so strong. Like even compared to every other hero, it's like how do you even choose anything else?
Yeah, no, definitely. Like, um,
And
yeah,
Himiko also has the +5 combat bonus. Like they looked at her and was like, "Hey, she needs one more thing."
yeah, and like how it was originally even +10.
Yeah.
Like when she just came out, I did a game. I'm not even sure if I finished it entirely, but I did a game with the Mapuche.
Yeah.
And I think that already that game was with dramatic ages.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and so with Himiko, you could literally just take warriors and take cities.
Yeah, it's just insane.
It was insane. Yeah. No, so that was great.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'll of course then try to show a bit of like all the heroes and how you can use them.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely like my favorites are Hercules, Himiko, and Sinbad.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think anyone is surprised by that.
Yeah. But anyways, I'm gonna have to call it here in like the next minute or so. So if there's anything else you want to add, otherwise, I hope that you come back after we play this game and you go over because me and Ken, when we do these shared games, we'll show the results of the game. We'll talk about strategy and how it went. I hope that you jump in and give us your playthrough as well, a recap.
Yeah,
of
for
it.
sure. I'll try because you're probably going to finish it in a week, right?
Oh, no rush. Me and Kane have other games lined up. So you play at your pace. We'll get to this game when we get to or when you're done. So don't stress yourself out about that at all.
Okay, so then I'll try to have it done in like 2 weeks, and then we can find a date to look at them again.
Because
so thanks. Yeah. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no problem. Because me and Ken, our next challenge is it's going to be a Russia versus America game. We're going to be playing the same map. I'm going to be playing America. He's going to be playing Russia to see who gets the better single player result. So that's the game. Because he's never even come close to
which America?
He gave me Lincoln because he wanted to give me the worst America. Because I don't like industrial zones. And I love plantations. So he's like, I'll give you Lincoln. He's really good. And I'm like, I see what you're doing. But yeah, so we're doing that. So no rush. But no, yeah, anytime, man. And if you ever anything that you ever want any of us to jump on, we're always happy to jump on other people's stuff. I think the Civilization community as a whole, I think is a pretty friendly bunch.
Yeah, definitely. I talked about this when I roasted a different tier list.
Yeah, that's actually how I found you. You had mentioned me because I don't watch too much content, and I saw that and I watched it. I actually really enjoyed that video. I just want to say that. I'll actually add a link to that in the description of this because I felt like the points you made were solid. Anyways, continue.
Yeah, thanks. So because I was worried as making it that like, isn't this too negative and stuff? But one thing that even just clicked into place because I was watching different videos is how I think that already the Civ community is pretty open to collaboration, like you and Kane were already doing, like Aquarius Philosophy and White Nerdy were already doing. But I think that in general, like that kind of collaboration, that kind of community building, that kind of together working on strategies and stuff, that helps to make better content, even if it is really hard, and so you can't do it all the time because you would just be constantly busy with calendars and stuff. But I think that content from collaboration in general is more interesting, basically.
Yeah, there's like I was saying off camera. There's so much civilization content that I feel like people just like to hear people talk sometimes about the game. Like,
Yeah.
because you can find a million Civ videos. It's hard to find stuff where people are just generally talking about enjoying the game in an interesting manner. Is something that I have always found more appealing. That's just me though. I don't know. I'm weird. I'm not even sure what point I'm trying to make there.
Yeah, no, that like talking about Civ
Mhm.
is interesting to look at.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, thanks everyone for watching, and I'll just drop out as well. So see you next time.
Yeah. Awesome. I'll get in touch with you. All right.
Okay,
And then
bye.
everyone else, bye. You all have a great weekend.